Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful evening. My name is Terry Toot, and this is Bite Time. I'm sorry for doing a late show, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into that later on. But today's show will be called Tiny But Tough. Today's show talks about the explosion of mini microphones. I don't know if you've seen them on YouTube or all the other shows that they have on the network. I have it two sets, so we'll get into all that. These mini microphones, ladies and gentlemen, sound so good, and I'm not surprised that news personalities at CNN, CNBC, all the companies you know out there, ESPN, these microphones are great. Distance-wise, they're not that great, but wow, up close, and they're small, and they have a lot of potent power in them. But they're great. Also, we're going to talk about the big game that's going on right now between North Carolina and Duke. And it looks like Duke is up 22-20. That game's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. They're only 8 miles apart with one another. What else we got going on? Also, this is Black History Month. But every month is Black History Month. And we're going to dedicate a person who made major contributions, especially in technology. We're going to give them a salute and make them proud. They're no longer with us, but we're going to do that. Also, what do we got going on? Tomorrow's the Super Bowl, and we'll talk about it briefly, but I want to talk about these tiny microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, this probably might be the go-getter of the year because it's so small and it's perfect for creators. You know, like if I want to I've done an interview with them. So we're going to talk about that, all right? But I'm so happy to be on the air and talking to everybody. And I'll get into why I'm late this evening. So live that funk, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome. Once again, this is Bite Time. My name is Terry Toot, and I've been going through hell today. Well, for some odd reason, ladies and gentlemen, my interface went to crap. I'm thinking it's something wrong with it. I'm going to take it back. Doing all these tests, Googling it and everything. And I'm thinking, okay, then I get to moving it on. It goes kaput. So I swapped out my other interface. It was working. It went kaput. Come find out, ladies and gentlemen, I had getting some bad feedback. Then I had a popped up message that said, hey, you need more power from your USB port. Well, guess what? I have a hub, a USB-C hub that I connect the audio interface and my external monitor. And lo and behold, that was an issue. I was getting major funny sounds or reverb and all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping this works. I've been doing some testing, and I'm hoping it works. And I think it is. But once again, we're going to do this show and we're going to have some fun. Okay. So let me get moving here. I'm really behind the 8 ball, but that's fine. Because I didn't want to do a show tomorrow because it is a Super Bowl. And I hope all these are watching. You got your chicken wings ready. My chicken wings are thawing out right now. After this podcast, I'm going to go downstairs and season them up, make a brine for them. And then I'm going to take half of them, bake them, other half I'm going to fry. And hey, if you want some good chicken wings, call me. I make good ones, all right? What else we got going on? Like I was saying, Duke and North Carolina are playing right now. It is now 27-22 Duke. With a little bit more than a little under 6 minutes left in the first half. Okay. So like I was saying, also we are celebrating Black History Month. And before I go any further about that, I just want to say one thing. What President Trump did the other day was totally no class whatsoever what he did. To compare former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as apes. And I've heard the story before. Some white people, other said that black people are apes. If that's the case, I'm an ape. Okay? That's utterly disgusting, racist, and just stupid. Okay? And on that note, we're going to do a dedication. I know I talked about this lady before on the show, but we're going to do a dedication to Miss Katherine Johnson. You know her, the Hidden Figures. She's one of the first NASA mathematicians for calculating calculating trajectories, launch windows, emergency return paths of the early U.S. manned space flights. She did the space flights for Alan Shepard and John Glenn. John Glenn was really close to her. Um, like I said, she did calculations for trajectory, and also she also was helpful in launching a trajectory for the 1969 Apollo 11 moon mission. She did that. Okay. Also, she broke the barriers of African American women that was in a field that was mostly white males. Um, she got credit for her division and as an author in a research paper. Unbelievable. In 2015, President Barack Obama gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and she was one of the figures in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Unbelievable. And like I said, Hidden Figures was a movie, was about Kevin Costner was in there, and unbelievable. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to salute her. Katherine Johnson, we salute you. God rest you in soul. Because of your determination and your brilliance with numbers, you have laid the foundation down, not so much for African American kids, for anyone, for any walk of life. That's what you did. And we salute you. Again, let's give her some cheering. And she definitely deserves that, okay? All right. So, like I was saying, today's show, tonight, well, this evening, this show, we're going to talk about the tiny or mini microphones. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that's just gone crazy in the last few years. Basically, the tiny microphones came about, let's say in 69, well, in the 30s and 40s, the lavalier microphones. We see the talk show hosts put the microphone in the lapel or that type of thing. But now things have changed. Sony came out with something in 69. It's about thumb size lavalier. Okay. We moved on from that. Okay. So we've gone on in the early 2000s with the creation of what they call MEMS, a microelectric mechanical system. It is basically the forefather to mini micro minis or mini micro, whatever how you want to decipher it, for tiny microphones to work with the devices that we have. And like I said, with the explosion of the tiny mics now, they're using the social media, content creators, TikTok. They were very popular in around the time of the pandemic. Okay, because people were scared to get too close. Guess what? You can have the micro, the mini microphones, like a magnet. You put it under your shirt, and it goes, and you put the microphone on the outside of it. It's not moving. Or you got the traditional clip as usual. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, it's I own a pair. I own two sets. I had a third one. I can't find it. But yeah, the first person who really brought this to the forefront, his name is that person named is Christina Nahar, known as Tinks. Okay, um, using this tiny microphones, handheld microphones. So basically, you are always in control, believe it or not. Because if you look on some of the shows that are on TV, like ESPN or even CNN, they could be talking to someone, their microphone's on them, right? They can't take it off because they know that it's not going to work properly. So the person that's doing the interviewer, all right, they have control. They have control, and they like that. So, oh, thank you, whoever you are. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. And they are in control of that. So the microphones are really popular. I'm going to tell you a situation. For me, a couple years ago, I was at the Can Jam in Manhattan, and I interviewed a couple guys that were there. First person I interviewed, I've never done interviewing before. So I interviewed a young lady that was sitting at the Odyssey booth, And we're talking. I said, "Man, would you mind if I do an interview?" So I did an interview with her, and she was telling me that she's a rock chick, you know, some gospel rock type of thing. And that was my first ever interview. Then I interviewed the guy who was a representative for Odyssey. Okay, these headphones are made extremely. They're very flat response, but they're very expensive. They run from like $400 up to like 2,500. And he was explaining to me everything, and I recorded it. Then later on, I met a representative from Sennheiser, and I couldn't believe how I had a crappy microphone, but it sounded so good. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So let's start with some of the microphones that are out there right now. So we got Hollyland. All right, they come in a little case, and the two microphones are long, look like sticks. Like I said, I had it set and it worked really good, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Basically, they had the popular microphones that are called the Lock Mini Series. That's the ones I had. This company is everything's manufactured. They're from China. Shenzhen, Hollyland Technology in Shenzhen, China. That's where they design and produce these microphones. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, they're not bad at all. Please trust me, they're not. They're very good. Uh, like I said, they're very popular for the Lock M2, the M2S, and the audio quality on these microphones, ladies and gentlemen, they are phenomenal. So it delivers 48 kilohertz of bit audio to 70 decibels. Okay, signal to noise ratio. You can't beat that, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. And these microphones, they run from the price of $37 to $250. And I had bought a $40 one, $50 one. Ladies and gentlemen, that thing is unbelievable good. Okay. The wireless range. Now, this is where the wireless has its issues. Okay. It's 1,000 feet or 300 meters line of sight. Okay. You could be, like I said, it does work. But once you get past that 1,000 feet, there's an issue. Okay. You're going to get erratic sound, static, and everything. You can lose transmission. Battery life is 9 hours. 8.5 if you have the 3.5 millimeter cable you connect to to your camera. Now these are, like, say for instance, like you have a DSL or camera, and you have that port to use the 3.5 millimeter for that. Ladies and gentlemen, these things is very good, very very good, ladies and gentlemen. Um, they're very light, very light microphones. Right? Don't make it seem like they stick out, but they don't, ladies and gentlemen. Also, they have noise cancellation on there. Believe it or not, okay. And it has reducing ambient sound, so that takes away clutter and stuff like that out there. Okay. You could do a two persons interview. Okay. Then they have a combo. Okay. Like I was telling you earlier, you can mount this on your camera. Usually, it's the high end cameras like the Canons, the Fuji's, even Nikon's. But you have a port on there that you could use, the 3.5, or I think if you have a USB C, they will work no problem on those particular cameras. I think mostly the Canon cameras are the ones that are compatible with, but they're higher ones. Okay. Um, what else we got? Also, you can use an app that comes with it. Okay, and like I said, it comes with mounting options. Don't be surprised, ladies. It's ridiculous. This comes with the magnets, clips, and the necklaces for flexible mounting. Like I said, the price of these run from $37 to $249. Okay. The next set of microphones, I have these as we speak right now. Let me get into it. The Mini Micro Pro. These mini micros only cost $25. Now I've had mine for a couple years now. And ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even pay. I don't think I paid that much. All right. All you do, you get a receiver that goes at the bottom of your phone. Connect that to your USB-C port. Okay. It works with Android, your laptops, smartphones, tablets, and iPads. Okay. Works with all iPhones, Androids, USB-C, and Lightning ports. I'm telling you, it works. Okay. When I did that interview, with the guys from Sennheiser and Odyssey and a young lady. I use this, okay? And I was just shocked as hell how clear and clean it sounded. I'm like, come on. But granted, I was pretty close to them, okay? So if you buy this, ladies and gentlemen, the set comes with two lavalier microphones, a receiver, the USB-C, okay? Two clips. The Dead Cat tips, what they do, they cut the noise, like traffic noise, um, loud noises like that. It looks like a fur ball, but all you do is just place it over the top of the microphones that are clipped onto your shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, you couldn't even see it because they look like those fur balls from Star Trek. You know what I mean? But they really do work. Trust me. Okay. These are omnidirectional, just like the my microphone I'm using right now. Omnidirectional. Um, it comes with sponge tips, the Dead Cat tips I was telling you about, and and the USB charging cable. So you can't go wrong there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong there. All right. Okay, the next item is the Boya. Now these I've researched them also. Same thing, two person for your cameras, mobile devices. These are rated 5 stars. Okay, 5 stars, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and like I said, I think these also are made in China. So don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. They are good. They're good products. It really are, and I wouldn't steer you wrong. Okay, so same thing. Here's the other one. Comes with transmitter, plug-in receiver, USB, USB-C, and Lightning port. Okay, all right. So we got that, and I hope that. Sorry about the music a little loud, but we're gonna get that. So the audio quality, and it has AI capabilities. So it delivers 48K, 24-bit audio, AI noise cancellation. You hear me? AI. Unbelievable. And this is the new stuff, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested, trust me. I was just caught off guard when I saw these devices. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it's like, wow, this is really happening. And really, I just want the gentleman, whoever's on, I just want to say thank you. I can't type today. I'm going crazy. All right, bear with me. And I appreciate the support for coming on too. Really, it's been a rough day. And then earlier today, me and my lady, we went to a restaurant called the Rusty Scupper at Inner Harbor in Baltimore, because I live here in Maryland. And I just want to say the food was fantastic. Ambiance is excellent. And I want to say thank you to our server. Her name was Lisa, who moved here from Arizona. I just want to say thank you very much for your service. Now, getting back to this, compatibility, like I said, cameras, camcorders, smartphones, laptops, the USB or 3.5 millimeter TRS cable. Can't beat that. Okay. Like I said, a 3.5 millimeter cable jack. Can't beat that. All right. And you can use the Boya app to use this. Okay. Once again, this company is from China. Okay. They've been around since 2007. They're also in Shenzhen City. Like I said, you cannot go wrong with these, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you the one I have right now as we speak. I bought another set. Okay, these are also available on Amazon and eBay. Basically, their focus on these devices are mostly for your cameras and smartphones, mostly cameras. All right, and the prices on these, on the Boyas, they range from $39.99 to $129, $130. Okay. All right, cool. The next one is the Rode wireless micro. You know, everybody knows Rode. I had the Rode Duo interface. I don't have the microphones, but the microphones are really, really good. And they also bought Mackie recently. So Rode has wireless micros. Okay, same thing. Very small microphone. do your interviewing also. Does automatic pairing. That makes such a big difference, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. What it says here has patent pending acoustic chamber design. It looks like a round fat tube. Okay. All right. It also has intelligent gain assist technology. It controls your audio level. So it's almost like, okay, I'm doing this interview, but if it tells me I'm getting too high, it automatically brings it down. If I'm too low, it's going to bring that up. That's automatic, ladies and gentlemen. You can't go wrong with that. Unbelievable. And the price of these is only $99. $99, everybody. You know, pocket size, real light. These, that's the only thing. You lose one, you're stuck and you're screwed. You know what I mean? Also works on the Rode iOS apps, Rode Capture. Also Rode Central and Rode Recorder. And it's in different colors. It's black, it's white, vibrant red, blue, and orange. And I'm gonna give you some of the pros and cons of them. The sound on them superior for $99. Right? It's got a small size, nothing funky about it. Got the magnetic stand I was talking about, like all the other ones. USB-C plug and play, very sturdy, $99. The con on this, you have to work with the gain on here, like I have to do with my my audio interface. No mute button on here either. The stands are very small to use, but that's neither here nor there. But if you're interested, check them out. Go to Rode's website, RODE, and you can't go wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The next device we want to talk about is the DJI Mic Mini that I own right now. And ladies and gentlemen, this one is by far, okay, I got this thing cheap. All right. I like to save a buck. Yeah, let's keep it real. Okay. I got mine for like $60. No lie. That thing used to go for $80. I got mine for $60 on Amazon back in October. Okay. 2.4 gigahertz microphone. Okay. Which is about 10 grams, it's real tiny. Okay. My small hands and they barely fit. I mean, tiny. You have a range of 400 meters, which is about 1,300, give or take, in that range. Have a 40-hour battery life and a charging case, which you do. Supports 24-bit, 48 kilohertz audio, Bluetooth format 5.3. Active noise canceling, yes, it does. Okay. Has a frequency response to 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That's pretty good for a small device like that. Wireless transmission, 2.4 gigahertz, 5.3. That's what they have on the Spectrum, so you can't go wrong there. Like I said, the range, 1,300 feet, within that realm of the SCC wants you to have. Battery life, 11 and a half hours with the transmitter. With the receiver, 10 and a half hours. And up to 40 hours in the charging case. And it's very, very small, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Like I says, it comes with the active noise canceling, auto gain, and all that stuff. So we're gonna go with the pros and cons real quick. Very light, battery life, excellent. Audio quality, very good. Easy setup, you can't go wrong there. And excuse me, they're like cheaper than the regular DJI Mic 2. Now Mic 2s you can pay a little bit more, you can pay some more money. The cons on this. Oops, sorry about that. I don't know what happened here. But the cons on this, I don't know what happened here. Bear with me. I don't know what happened. We're going crazy here. But bear with me here, people. I'm sorry about that. Okay, we're going to end it here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting this funny sound on here. But I apologize for that. But we're going to end the show. Hey, have a good show. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Have a good evening, and we'll be back here next Saturday. Sorry about this.